Alrighty. Oh, good. Time to tell some appropriate jokes. White squirrel. Well, it could go either way. Eh, overrated anyway. Indeed, we are. Well, let me refresh this thing over here. Yep. All right. That said boomer message. Hey, you gonna show up for the show, you dope? I'm glad he loves me. Otherwise, I swear to God. Yeah. Yeah. I have to watch that with my Dramamine because it's got ginger in it, and if I don't get it taken all the way, then I have ginger burps, and it's terrible. Yes, I do. So, all right. I don't care. I'm game if you are, because I mean, it's only like 2 minutes till we actually have to start anyway. Okay.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all are listening to the Overseas Connection podcast.
Shut up and sit down.
Here we go!
Would you kindly? I think we're just getting started.
Medic!
I'm a witcher.
I think this is more than you can handle.
He sits on his ass all day.
Let's do this.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to episode 800 of the
Can you
Overseas
believe
Connection
that?
podcast. Yeah, September 1st, 2024. And we're looking for a copyright-free show today. We'll get into that in a minute. It's just a number. Nothing big planned today. Robin is off with the kids, the wife, maybe a nanny. I don't know. But they are coming back from some kind of excursion. Mark is in a quiet place, recommended to him by Aaron Rodgers. So he is just mellow, chilling. Phil Olsen, we have heard, is still alive. That is good news.
Right.
We were excited to hear about that. Though still no commitment from Phil. So, thanks for nothing, Phil. We love you. And Pete, we think Pete might now be a submarine captain. I've not
He was on the
seen or heard
PlayStation
of.
earlier, so
Okay. All right. I see how it is, Pete.
Yeah.
Anyway, but it's just you and me, Kim. Kim Woods on the show. Kim, how are you?
I'm good. Yep, that's me, GamerGirl27. Just about everywhere. And Boomer just showed up in the chat. See,
Well,
Oh,
that doesn't
you
really
know.
make the show better.
Well, it doesn't really
Yeah.
make it worse, though. I mean,
No,
I'm
true.
here, so
This is
there's
true.
that. But anyway, yeah, I'm happy to be here. It's a nice day out. It's like 70-something degrees with no humidity, which is nice after the way this week's been. So,
Okay. Well, we've
Yeah.
got the weather report out of the way and no man's
There you go.
land. Okay. Perfect. Greg DeLazy, Gamertag, Murphy's Law, OC_Murphy's Law on Twitter. Let's see. We do this, Kim, every Sunday. Can you believe we do it
We do?
every Sunday? 12 p.m. on the West Coast, 3 p.m. on the East Coast, 2 p.m. the Central Time Zone. And we really don't give a fuck about the UK right now because our UK boys have really let us down. Both in the podcast, in politics, sports, weather, you name it. They are a giant letdown right now.
yeah. Wait.
So that's just how I'm positioning this right now. Okay. Little foreshadowing.
Uh-oh.
We may have a new voice coming in the future. Not right now. This is a giant tease. Not going to tell you who.
And it's not me.
I will say this is a possible replacement of an existing ridiculous accent with an equally ridiculous accent. That's all I can say.
Mm-hmm.
All
Our
right.
lips are sealed.
That's the big news for the show. We're done. Thanks for listening. I think we'll wrap it up now. This is the problem. See, Robin takes off. He fucks around. He's off doing his little thing, and nobody checks birthdays.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
All right.
See,
that was my bad.
I'm
Oops.
sure somebody was born this day. I don't know who, but somebody out there is celebrating a birthday. And gosh darn it, we would love to say happy birthday to you, but we're not gonna because we just don't know who you are.
Whoops. Yeah. Let me look real quick. I'll see if I can find somebody.
Can
I'm
we
sure
put
I've got
this?
somebody.
Yeah, we do put this nonsense. I was going to say shit, but no, it's just nonsense. We put this nonsense out live on Twitter, on YouTube, every Sunday. We also will create an audio version of this podcast. Will probably be a little bit more refined. It'll actually sound better. Avoids copyright strike silence. And that will go out likely tomorrow. Even though it's a holiday, we work. And we get things done. We're paid handsomely for this, mind you.
Bro, sure.
Some of
why you see my lavish surroundings that I'm in.
Lavish. All right. Okay. So the YouTube strike. Well, let's get into story time. Unless we have a birthday. Do we have a birthday?
We have a birthday on Tuesday, September 3rd. The one and only Mike Chin has a birthday.
Holy crap. See, I knew in my heart, in my soul, in my body, I knew somebody was having a birthday. Mike Chin, happy birthday, Mike.
Yeah.
It is not often you hit 60. So it's incredibly fantastic. And also, I mean, good for him. That old and having a newborn child. I mean, he is doing God's work. Mike, happy birthday to you. And I am not going to sing. Maybe I'll sing you happy birthday. Happy birthday to you.
I thought I sang bad. Anyway.
Happy birthday. Okay, I can't do it anymore.
Alrighty.
Happy birthday, Mike.
And not only that, but 2 days ago was his wedding anniversary. Him and his wife. So for
Good
6
Lord.
years. Yeah.
That's okay. Mike, you kind of screwed yourself on that one. I'm just going to point this out. These are things that you need to think about when you're proposing, when you're talking about future holidays. Also, children. Think about when you're trying to attempt to have them. Now, granted, I know sometimes there's surprises. I'm living proof of that.
Yep.
But I feel like when you propose, that you have control over. And you definitely should not screw yourself out of a good birthday party and birthday for you by having your proposal date and anniversary wedding date, like days or before or after your birthday, because you're going to inevitably be screwed up. It doesn't go well. This is like Christmas all over again. You don't want to be born in and around Christmas. So, or Hanukkah, take your pick.
That's rich.
Yeah. All of these people that are having sex and having kids, and then the kids are having their birthdays in December. You're bad parents. Think about things in the future. Come on. Do better. Be better. Okay. Yeah, let's do story time.
Alrighty.
Everyone here loves story time, our favorite time of the day.
Kim, have I mentioned it's episode 800?
I know, right? I remember episode 400, and now here we are, double that. So.
You know what the saddest thing is?
What?
I don't remember episode 1.
Yeah, well, yeah,
and
I
it's
don't
and
either,
it's
'cause that was
lost,
before me.
unfortunately, to the annals of whatever. Yeah, I couldn't. I barely remember last week's episode, so there's that.
Right.
But yeah, it's been a long time. And one thing I've always been really kind of happy about is, for the most part, we don't get copyright strikes. We don't, we just kind of trudge along, put it out there, and it's a fun, just community show. We have a good time.
Right.
We put up with people like Boomer in the chat.
That's my fault. Yeah.
Oh, turkey for you, turkey. Maybe. No, I'm not paying attention to Boomer. Not paying attention to Boomer. But so last week, I'm going to produce the show for the audio version. It's something I noticed we had a copyright strike. And I'm like, what the hell? But it dawned on me. Mark, did his due diligence, and he told me that we were getting copyright strikes on the song, and it was a song within our setup. And completely blew it off, forgot about it. It was in the starting soon screen. We had a song embedded in there. And I don't know, it's from some Japanese anime show. And they gave us a copyright strike last week, and Twitch muted it during that time, but they mute it for like X amount of minutes within the show, so it like causes havoc with the audio on the video version. Ironically, I was able to download and create a highlight version and just extract that part out, and I think it's fine, but I don't know. Either way, we shouldn't have that problem this week.
All right, good.
You know what problems I do have, Kim?
Uh-oh. What's that?
Mosquitoes are starting to come out.
Oh, no.
Yeah. They've been kind of like not present for most of summer. Like, I mean, occasionally now and then, but I mean, I've noticed just this past week, like they're starting to come out in force a little bit. And I think it's because we're starting to finally get into cooler, cooler weather. Still hot, but not insanely hot. So the mosquitoes are like, oh shit, no, we can actually go around and bug people.
Yeah.
So I will be spraying at some point in time today. Just going to douse the exterior foliage. See, that's the key to mosquito control. You know, you have your bug spray that you spray along the kind of the trim of the house, the base of the house, if you will, all the way around it. That helps keep spiders out, that kind of thing. Importantly, spray your plants. That's where the mosquitoes hang out. You spray the plants. They don't want to hang out there. They move on. They go somewhere else, or they die. Either way, I'm fine with it. So yeah, so that's the plan. Do you have a lot of mosquitoes?
Yeah, but we usually have them like all summer long, whether it's, cool or hot. Because, I mean, I guess maybe it's a Midwest thing. But I noticed they haven't been super bad this year. Maybe it's because of the locusts, because it seems like we've had millions and millions of locusts.
That's a really good point. We did have our cricket invasion. I wonder if they,
So I wonder if that was why.
God, now I feel bad about killing all those fucking crickets.
Whoops. That's what
I mean, I probably killed thousands of crickets.
Whoops. Well, they're probably like raccoons, though. They breed like cats, and, there's probably thousands of them. So.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna. I'm looking at your notes here, so I'm gonna talk to me about wire and running of wiring woes.
Okay.
Let's hear about this.
Alrighty. Well, I bought the Steam Deck dock, right? Well, I decided that, and it does work with my Switch. So I decided I was gonna set it up in here in the Hermit Cave, but it needed its own HDMI cable and it needed its own internet cable. Because I like to wire everything, even though in the age of Wi-Fi you don't have to. But it seems like to me when I wire it, the connection is better. Maybe it's just me. I don't know.
It's fair.
It's less. It doesn't drop out. Because sometimes Wi-Fi you get it. It's a little flaky. Sometimes it'll drop out. Yada yada yada. Well, I don't have to worry about it if I have wired. Anyway, long story short, I got tired of running the Xbox cables to the Steam Deck dock whenever. Try saying that 3 times fast. Every time I wanted to use it, so I got its own cables, right? Well, the other day, as I was sitting there attempting to hook this thing up, something happened, and I ended up knocking the hard drive that's connected to my Xbox off, and it, disappeared. I couldn't find it. I knew it didn't hit the floor because it didn't make any noise, but I couldn't figure out where it fell. So, I okay, and you got to understand where my TV and everything is set up. I've got a 40-inch screen TV, and it barely fits, on my entertainment center. I mean, I've got to, it's cockeyed it in there in order to get it to fit right. Well, after about a half an hour of trying to find this hard drive that had fallen off somewhere, because I didn't want to lose it, because obviously it's got all my games and stuff on it.
Yeah.
So I thought, well, fuck it. I'll just take everything down, and surely it's got to be here somewhere, right? So I unhook all the things from my TV. I pull it out. I unhook, my sound bar, my Roku, the whole kit and caboodle, because the wire. I will be honest. For a somewhat techie person, my wire running skills are terrible because they're behind the TV. Nobody sees them. I don't give a fuck.
Right.
So I figure, well, while I'm here and I've got everything, unhooked, and I got those little Velcro strap things to bundle the wires together and all that.
Which,
I thought
those are the greatest thing in the world and also the worst thing in the world.
Yes.
Just because when you go to tighten them, they start catching, and then you have to undo it to tighten it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then for God forbid, if you don't get the 2 ends where you get enough length that you need to hook the things together, then you got to undo it.
Nothing
and roll
worse
out more
than not having enough length, Kim.
I know, right? But anyway, so I did all that. I still couldn't find my phone. I mean, I about took the damn entertainment center like completely apart in order to find this hard drive. So I did all that. It needed to all be dusted anyway. So I did all that, and I finally got everything wired. And all of a sudden, I looked over at my laundry hamper, which sits right next to my entertainment center.
Yeah.
Guess what the fuck was in my laundry hamper?
Nice.
The hard drive from my
Love it.
Xbox.
Love it.
So, I was a little bit perturbed, but in a way it worked out, even though I sweated a little bit trying to get that 40-inch, screen TV back up in there and trying not to drop it or anything else. And I reran the wires and straightened them up. So it looks slightly better back there, but again, I have a 40-inch screen TV. You're not going to see back there unless you go actually back there and tilt the TV forward and like, oh, look, Kim did a shitty job running her wires. So,
there are some questions to be asked right now.
all right. Ask away.
So, okay, so you're in there, you're
Right.
trying to do the HDMI cables,
Right.
and was it trying to pull out the existing cord that you flung the hard drive?
Yeah,
How
well,
did
I got the dock sitting on my Xbox because no bigger,
Right.
no bigger than it is. I've got everything just right there. And well, in the process of trying to hook the wires up to the back of the dock, I think I got one tangled up in the wire for the hard drive, so it pulled it off. And then it came disconnected from the cable and it landed in my laundry hamper. Although I didn't realize it was in my laundry hamper until like an hour after the whole ordeal started.
So this begs the question.
Uh-huh.
How close is your laundry hamper to the TV? Is it like I mean,
Like right next to it.
oh, okay, all right. So there's proximity there. It goes
Yes.
flying off.
Yeah.
Now the other thing is, why would you not think it did? Because you have hardwood floors.
Right.
So my and a cat.
And a cat.
I would have been blaming the cat actually, probably.
Right. Hi, Mario.
Um,
Right. I would have. Except they weren't anywhere around. So
But so you didn't hear it hit the ground.
no, I didn't hit it. It didn't hit. I didn't hear it hit anything. And I
Right.
didn't think that, oh, hey, it landed. Because I mean, like the hard drive, let me see if I can split. The hard drive sits on top of the Xbox, like right here. The laundry hamper is off on this side,
Okay.
but it's a little lower, right? So who'd have thought that thing would have moved over, got flung off, and landed in the laundry hamper the way it had?
That's
didn't.
fair. That's
So,
fair.
well, I mean, I'm glad it did, because if it hit my floor, I'm sure it would have busted into a million pieces or something would have broke inside of it. And then I would have been, pissed off because then I would have had to buy a new one. So, because it's not the solid state, it's not the SSDs, it's the regular, hard drive. So I'm sure something in there would have broke and, well, there we are. So, good news, landed in the laundry hamper. Bad news is I thought it was everywhere but the laundry hamper. So it
How
created
long
kind
did
of
it take you to find it eventually? I mean, we're talking hours?
hour.
Days?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it was like an hour when this whole ordeal started. Because like I said, I pulled everything out, redid the wiring. But the funny thing is now that I've done all that, every once in a while, my Xbox, and I'm assuming it's a bad HDMI cable to the TV. I don't know that for sure, but every once in a while, my Xbox will flicker. The screen will go black, and then it'll pop back on. And somebody had said on Reddit, I think it might have been one of the HDR settings, auto HDR or whatever that is in the settings. He said to uncheck that, and that should fix it. Well, I did that, and it didn't fix it. It still does that. So I think
I would definitely test a new HDMI cable.
Right.
Yeah.
Because
they do occasionally go bad, and it's kind of one of those things that you don't think it's the cable because it was working fine just a minute ago, and it's just a cable. So why would it? But they do.
Yeah, so that's what I'm thinking now is I'm just going to go ahead and buy another HDMI cable for it because I've got better ones now than probably what that one is. So I'll just buy a better one and hook it up and hopefully because it's, it's annoying when you're sitting there playing something like Call of Duty and all of a sudden the screen goes blank and then it flashes back on and you're like, well, I'm dead again. I mean, not that it really would have mattered the way I play COD, but still, it's a bit of an annoyance.
So here's my question.
Mhm.
And I've got lots of questions today, Kim. So this
All
is
right.
apparently my
That's
role
good.
today as the question guy.
Alrighty.
And maybe Boomer has an answer for this too in the chat. I don't
Right.
know. He may not.
All right.
But I mean, outside of obviously the cable going bad and it flickering and
Right.
cutting in and out,
Right.
does anybody actually see a difference in the quality of an HDMI signal from one cable to the next?
Probably not.
I mean, if it's broadcasting in 1080p on one cable, does a better quality cable make it
Right.
broadcast better in 1080p?
I think it's supposed to, maybe, but I don't.
How?
I don't.
Yeah,
I
how
don't
does that?
know.
Yeah,
But I don't.
this,
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't notice a difference. But I do
these are the
buy
things that keep
like
me up
this,
at night, Kim.
the sturdier, like with the I don't know what you call it, like the sturdier HDMI cable, not like the regular just black plastic, HDMI cables. I usually get the little sturdier ones because I always think, well, between my cats and me and everything else, I figure maybe at least if they get pulled on, maybe they'll last a little longer. Maybe I don't know, but that's just me. So I don't know if it makes a difference or not. Because I mean,
I
I've
don't
seen
either.
cheap ass cables on Monoprice that go for $7 and everybody screams that they're the best damn cables in the world. And here I am plunking down $13 for an HDMI cable, all because it's wrapped in like
The
thread.
gold-plated.
Yeah, right.
That
It's
is
got
my
the gold
favorite.
plated
Yeah.
and it's wrapped in like it's in like the fabric and it's flat and they're supposed to be better. So I don't
Now,
know.
I will say this. I
Yes.
do think there is something to that part, Kim. The
Right.
type of cable housing,
Right.
because the nylon fabric bendable far better than the
Right.
ridiculously like unbendable plastic that used to be the case. I guess
Right.
it was rubber,
Right.
where it was like your HDMI cable had just a constant straight. It was like the old coaxial cables too.
Right.
I never
right.
understood that. Why the hell do they make these cables that are completely unwieldy? And
Exactly.
you get like 10 feet of it from the cable guy. And you only needed 3 feet.
Right.
And yeah.
Right. I get you. So,
Right.
so I guess that's my next project. Is I'm gonna have to unplug because I'm assuming it's probably the one from the TV because I've got one of those HDMI switch boxes because of course we all have
Right.
so many things and only so many HDMI slots. So I'm assuming it's the one from the TV to the box because all the rest of them have newer HDMI cables. So.
And it could be. Now, here's the thing. If it's not the cable, the next thing I would actually check is the HDMI switch box. It could
Right.
be that port has gone bad.
And I've thought about that too because it's only a 3-port, and actually I kind of need an extra port. So I've been kind of kicking around buying another box anyway. So,
All right.
because it would be nice to have the extra port because I didn't dream I'd be buying a dock for my Steam Deck, but here we are. So, you never know. You might get something else that needs an HDMI slot. So one never knows.
It's never ending.
I
Never
know,
ending,
right?
I tell you.
Right.
All right. Okay. That was quite the update.
I know, right?
I like it though. I like it. You know what? I'm holding off on the calendar. We're gonna.
Okay. We'll do that for
we'll
last.
leave that for last.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, well, that's
Um,
always so exciting.
Football around the corner, Kim.
Yeah, I know, right? What
Thursday.
Thursday. Yeah.
Your Chiefs
me
on
and the
display.
Ravens.
Yeah.
So
Ravens.
me against Boomer.
Oh,
Well-
Boomer's
well-
a Ravens fan.
Yeah. So our
So that means
friendship
by
lasts.
default, see, Boomer now is Boomer. You and I, we're bonding even more. So Boomer's a Ravens fan,
Yep.
and by like proximity, he's now a Chargers fan because we have half the Ravens roster on our team.
There you go.
So there we go, Boomer. You and me. Of course, we will be mortal enemies when the Ravens play the Chargers later in the year.
Of course.
But yeah, football around the corner. Tomorrow morning, I'm drafting my last fantasy football team for the year.
Oh wow.
That's the league I run, so I'm excited. I've been doing all the mock drafts in the world. I've been drafting great in the mock drafts, but of course that's mock drafts because
Right.
the league I'm in, and it's called Sunday Madness, it's 14 teams, which is a lot of teams for a fantasy football league. It's the most and the maximum we'll ever do for the league. But it's challenging in that a lot of people in the league, though, they just don't follow your typical, like, I listen to all the draft shows, all the fantasy football draft podcasts out there, the professional ones, and they're talking about, oh, this guy's average draft position is, round 2. Throw that out the window with this league because we've had literally in the 3rd round kickers being drafted. We've had quarterbacks that shouldn't be being taken until like the 3rd or 4th round. They'll get drafted in the 1st round. And it's because a lot of the people in this league, they just go on the hunches.
Right.
And I'm there for it though. I love it because it keeps it unpredictable. So you just never know what's going to come out in the draft. But I'm excited for it. And then from there, we're just into football season. Full throttle. Let's go.
Yep.
Outside of Hollywood Brown getting injury you guys are relatively healthy. Chiefs are relatively healthy coming
I
into the
think
season.
so. I think so. There was something said about old Juju the other day, but I didn't catch what it was, so it doesn't
Well, I
really matter.
thought he was signing with the Chiefs. I thought he was
He
coming
is.
back. He's trying
He
to
is.
get in for more Super Bowls because
Right,
he's
right.
incapable of leading a team to a Super Bowl. But if he can come in as like a 4th round receiver,
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I kind of chuckled at that one too. I'm like, we just got rid of him, and now he's back. So
he's like a virus. He just keeps coming back.
right.
Ricky Pearsall was
Yeah,
the
right.
49ers draft pick this year for
Mhm.
wide receiver. He got shot
He did.
in San Francisco, attempted robbery, which
Over a Rolex.
well, I mean, if you're gonna steal from somebody, I guess find the guy that has the Rolex.
Right.
I guess they got into a scrap for the gun.
Mm-hmm.
Ricky Pearsall got shot in the chest. The other guy got shot somewhere as well, apparently.
Yep.
He was arrested. Ricky Pearsall was taken to the hospital. But I'm like watching that somebody like recorded. Everybody has a camera these days, and instead of
Exactly.
helping somebody, they just record videos.
We'll just record it.
But I saw like he's walking to the gurney and the ambulance, and I'm like, dude just got shot in the chest. I would be on the ground, just be like,
Right.
come get me. I'm not walking anywhere.
Right.
But I know. I mean, honestly, well wishes for Ricky Pearsall.
And apparently the suspect was like 17 years old.
Oh, not
So-
surprising.
Yeah.
Again, San Francisco has turned into a shithole. This is a public safety announcement. Don't shop in San Francisco.
Right. Don't go near there.
I mean, I still think back to when we all went. I met up with Robin and his family in San
Mhm.
Francisco, and I just remember thinking to myself, "Do I really want to meet him?"
Yeah. Is it worth the risk?
Anyway, okay. So football on the way.
Can't wait. Although
I
my
need-
Cardinals are currently beating the Yankees, so
Okay,
go figure. So
something to live for. Although, I mean, your Cardinals are more or less out of it already.
I know, but
Okay.
at least they're beating the Spankies.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Kim,
Yes.
I feel like this is going to be a combined story at the end of the day. But
Okay.
I'm seeing a bookshelf deterrent
Yes.
and a kitten update. I
Right.
feel like that's one and the same, but it's different.
Not. Yeah, I'd say it's different. Well, we all know I've got collectibles on bookshelves, yada yada yada. Well, I get tired of freaking out when the cats jump on the bookshelf because, like, my little Geralt statue with Roach is like $300 and some, and the last thing I want is for them to knock it off and break it in a million pieces. So I was trying to come up with some way that I could keep the cats off the shelf because I don't need them knocking off my gaming stuff or my collectibles or whatever. So after doing some looking on Amazon and not really finding what I want, because usually you find everything on Amazon. Well,
Right.
I couldn't really come across something. I finally figured something else out, and it seems to be working. I took I fix like our window screens, like the cats. They'll put a hole in it or whatever. So
Right.
I will fix our window screens, and I'm pretty good at it. Well, I had some scrap screen laying around, and I don't know. It's probably about 2 foot by 2 foot, probably something like that, 3 foot. Anyway, I took it. I'll have to post a picture of it up on Twitter if you want to see it. I mean, I don't know if it's all that interesting to people, but whatever. Anyway, I took it and some zip ties. It's almost as reliable as duct tape. Close. Anyway, I took this screen and these zip ties, and I zip tied it to the side of the shelf. So now the screen is blocking the holes so the cat can't jump up on the shelf. And so far, they haven't figured out that maybe they could climb it, so I'm waiting for that. But
Yeah.
I figure this way, the screen, like right now, I've got it where it's my Xbox and the top shelf where my other collectibles are. I figured that way, like with my Xbox, it's got holes in it, so there's still ventilation. Because I looked at like plastic and some other things, and I thought, okay, that might work. But I kind of want something with some ventilation in it, because obviously I don't want my Xbox to heat up. Although,
Right,
to be
right.
fair, I've got the end with the stand on it actually facing the screen, and I don't think there's much ventilation there. But either way, it never hurts to be a little safe about it. So I guess if you're in my predicament and you got pets or children or whatever, and you're looking for a way to keep them from getting around on your bookshelves, that might be an option for you. Because like I said, the screen, and I use the little tiny zip ties. They're only about, I don't know, yay long. So yeah,
I thought
it
for
seems,
sure you were going to say you zip tied the screen on the cat's feet.
I thought about it, but then I thought, that's probably not going to work either. I still got to do this shelf back here, but so far I figured I wanted to do a test run to see if it would actually work, and so far it seems to be. So
Okay.
that is an idea. So
Now the
there's that.
alternative idea would be to get an enclosed shelf.
I thought about that
Yeah.
too, and that may be something I do.
Yeah.
You know,
This is
down
the
the line.
IKEA.
Right.
They make them. They're fantastic. I
Right.
highly recommend.
Yeah.
The lighting was tricky. I will say that.
Right.
But it can be done.
The only thing is that wouldn't work necessarily for this one over here because that's my entertainment center, so that's got my TV and stuff on it. I don't think that would work for that, but it would work for everything else.
They have other versions. If you can't see it, it's right here.
Okay.
Hidden.
All right.
My nice work paper stuff here.
Right.
Anyway.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Now, what about this kitten update? What's going on?
Well, it's not so good. I remember we were playing Halo the other day, and I told you I had one that wasn't. Well, I finally broke down, and I called the vet the other day, and I'm like, explain the situation. See, Short Round. I don't know if y'all remember Short Round because I know I have 10,000 cats, but she was the one that me and Anthony had found in the hayloft, and she was really small. And I'm afraid if we hadn't have found her, she probably would have passed then. But anyway, within the last week or so, it seems like her little limp. Her little hitch and her giddy up, that's what I like to call it. Her limp had gotten worse. And it got the worst of the fact that she hardly wouldn't move at all. She would still eat, drink, go to the bathroom and all that and be normal. She just couldn't move or wouldn't move.
Okay.
So I broke down the other day and called the vet and I explained the situation to them. I said, I don't know what's going on. She's got a knot on a couple of joints and it seems like it's spreading. So I said, I don't know if she's got a joint infection or what the deal is, but I said she's all right otherwise, and I need to get her looked at to see if there's anything we can do, or if there's not anything we can do, at least we can do it humanely and, she's not suffering. And no sooner did I call the vet, but that afternoon I noticed she wasn't going to the bathroom like she was before. So I thought, well, this isn't good. So anyway, Friday, I had the boys, so there was no Fatal Friday, and me and Tony went out to do chores. And she was fine then. She was leaning up against the litter box. She was laying down in the little yurt, and that was just fine. When we come back in, I don't know, maybe 20 or so minutes after doing chores, and somehow she had managed to make it into the water bowl. And I mean, I don't have like a little bitty water bowl. It's like a water pan. It's probably about yay tall and, yay big around. And I don't know how long she'd been in it. Sometime before, sometime after we'd went out to do chores and come back. So like in that 25 minutes, she had managed to climb over there and get put in the litter bowl or the water bowl. I don't know.
A kitty drowning.
Right. And the thing of it is, we had the other kittens in there with her because obviously that's where we put them. But I don't see them going over there and picking her up and throwing her in the water bowl. I don't see that because they'd never messed with her before. And like I said, she wasn't really moving, so I can't see her pulling herself over there and throwing herself in it either. But maybe.
Maybe
so I
she
don't know.
Just lost her balance trying to do a backflip.
Could be. Yeah, right. Trying to do a backflip. She's got 4 legs that doesn't work, but she's trying to backflip. Yeah. So I don't know. So we got her out. We got her dried up. She seemed dried off. She seemed fine. But I don't know. In the back of my mind, I was telling myself, this is not going to end well. And I mean, like I said, if I had to get up in the morning and go to the vet with her, what was the situation going to be? Well, anyway, long story short, we got up the next morning. I went out to check on her, and well, she wasn't alive. So, yeah. So we lost Short Round, but
all right,
it is what it is. Like I told Dad, I said, well, we had her for a few weeks. She knew what it was like to, have somebody take care of her and that sort of thing. So, I mean, she needed a little bit of happiness before whatever it was decided to strike her down, or she decided to commit suicide in the water bowl. I still don't know how that happened, but
I don't want to laugh. This is
well, you kind of
terribly uplifting story. I'm like an update. I'm sorry. Kim. I am
it's
sorry.
All right. Like I said, it's one of those things, and I'm happy in the fact that me and Tony did find her at the time, and because if we hadn't have found her, she would have either starved to death up there, or a raccoon or something would have got a hold of her. And, so like I said, she had at least 3 weeks of somebody looking out for her and taking care of her, and she had buddies. So
I have to think. Multiple factors here kind of, for those that don't know, Kim, you have a lot of animals. You've had a lot of animals for many years.
Yep.
So you're a little, I think, more desensitized. I'm going to say it that way.
Right.
I know losing an animal always sucks.
It does.
But you've had it experienced enough. You had the kitten hotel nightmare.
Right.
So you've been around the block a little bit when it comes to that.
Right.
But still.
And I mean, like I said, she's been doing this for about a week. So, I mean, I always had that thought in the back of my mind that she was little. She was the runt. Obviously, she was the runt of the litter. I don't know which litter because I have horrors for cats. But she was obviously small for her age. So I knew in the back of my mind, she's probably going to have something inside that I don't see that's wrong with her. So
I would just say this, Kim. I think you need to get a security camera now on the water bowl. Because there may be a bad apple amongst bad actor amongst your kittens.
Right.
And,
Well,
she was just casually going up to the edge of the water bowl. And then, other cat comes up behind her.
Yep. Yeah. Well, if I have another one get knocked over, I'll have to think about that. So
check Robin's visa and make sure he hasn't been visiting.
All right. So yeah, there was that this week. So that kind of added to the bad week I was having. But it is what it is. So
all right. Well, let me uplift you. With a couple of recommendations.
Sure.
So the first one is a documentary.
Oh.
I'm not one for documentaries usually.
Right.
And I would call this. It's not a docudrama, but it is in a way. It's a documentary about Wyatt Earp and the Cowboy Wars.
Oh.
And this is on Netflix.
Nice.
It's a series. Caught the first episode last night, and it's narrated by Ed Harris.
Mm-hmm.
So it's well done in that they do have a fictional actor and acting and settings that they kind of they act out the different things that happened in history. Mm-hmm. So you're not just listening to somebody drone on and on about the history, and they're showing you, slide after slide of black and white photos of things that happen.
Right.
They act it out. So I think it just helps kind of bring it to life. Mm-hmm. And it's done well. Not quite, Wyatt Earp movie. With God, I can't think of his name right now. Who played
Kurt
Wyatt
Russell?
Earp? Yes, Kurt Russell.
Tombstone.
But it's good. And little fun facts you start learning. So, a fun fact about the Cowboys. Remember how in the movie with Kurt Russell, they wore the red sash, and that signified they were a cowboy.
Yep.
Not the case. They didn't wear red sashes at all. On their hats, on their cowboy hats, they had a rattlesnake band on it. And that signified they were part of the Cowboys. And the Cowboys were actually like the mafia. The Cowboys at that stage of our history, if you will, they had become a bit of like an outlaw group. They started by going into Mexico, and they would rustle cattle from Mexico and drive it all the way up into the U.S. and sell the cattle in the black market in the U.S. And so that's how they got their kind of footing. And so Cowboys was a term for an outlaw. And Doc Holliday was actually a doctor.
Yeah.
He was a dentist. Did not know this. And so he had tuberculosis. And the best part about his diagnosis, they said, you need to go out west where the air is cleaner and drink whiskey. That's your medicine. Drink whiskey. Whiskey will help you from coughing. That was the whole medicine treatment for tuberculosis.
Yep. Just
get drunk. Hence why he was drinking all the time.
Right.
But anyway, so it's really well done. Great so far. I'm excited. And it goes above and beyond. It goes before the OK Corral, and it goes well after the OK Corral. And
nice.
So first episode kind of leads you right up to the OK Corral. And then I'm pretty sure second episode is going to kick off with the OK Corral happening. So anyway, good stuff on Netflix.
Nice.
Another movie on Netflix. I get very choked up about it.
Maybe you get tuberculosis.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
Just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Land of the Bad. Sorry, Land of Bad, not the bad. Land of Bad.
Gotcha.
So I saw it on my Netflix lists, and I was like, and I added it to like my play later, and I've had it there for like a month. And I'm like, let me break down and finally watch it. Started watching it yesterday morning. Totally sucked in Cindy. She's watching it with me. We watched this movie. Really well done. surprisingly good. It is about like I want to say like a black ops team, but like they're like a CIA spook team that goes into an Asian country trying to extract an asset,
Gotcha.
and a bunch of shit kicks off sideways. But within it, there's this relationship with a drone driver who is played by God, his name was just in the top of my head. Played Gladiator, Kim.
Russell Crowe.
Kurt Russell Crowe, yes.
Mhm.
Russell Crowe does a great job. And so I don't want to spoil anything for anybody. It was one of those movies that just caught me by surprise. I wasn't expecting much from it.
Mhm.
I forgot the main actor. I want to say he's a Hemsworth brother, but
Yeah.
do you remember This Is Us, the TV show This Is Us?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you remember the guy that played Jack, the father?
Yeah.
He's in this
Milo,
movie.
Vin something or
Yeah,
other.
names I can never say.
Right,
He's in this
Vin,
movie.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so just, kind of one of those surprising cast members. You're like, oh my God, I haven't seen him in anything since that show. I was like, well,
Right.
here he is. And he does a great job. Anyway,
Huh.
well worth the watch.
I'll have to
Land
I'll
of
see about
Bad.
that. That'll get us off our Gunsmoke kick that I've seen 3,000,001 times.
You do need to get off the Gunsmoke kick.
I know, right?
Unless it's black and white Gunsmoke.
Yeah.
Because didn't they colorize some of them? Aren't some
They
of them in
did.
color?
Yeah, some of the later ones,
Yeah.
they were colorized, yeah.
Okay, last movie.
Mhm.
Saw it in the theaters. Blink twice.
Oh, that's the one with Channing Tatum and he's the rich guy. Yep.
Yep. So it's a recommend. I
Mhm.
don't necessarily know you need to see it in the theater.
Right.
I'm kind of one in my head. I like to go to movie theaters for big spectacle movies.
Right.
Superhero movies, Star Wars, that kind of thing.
Mhm.
Where you have special effects, it really comes across on the screen.
Right.
This is not one of those movies.
Gotcha.
It is a suspenseful thriller.
Mhm.
It's not a horror movie, but it has a real level of creepiness to it.
Right.
I'm not going to spoil anything on this movie because I think that the plot itself, when you start talking about the plot, you can kind of figure out a little bit of it.
Mhm.
But anyway, enjoyed it. Surprisingly good. Again, probably well worth the wait. See it at home.
Right, yeah.
But when you do see it on one of your lists to be able to watch,
Mhm.
check it out. Blink twice. It was good.
Cool. Alrighty.
Anything else from you, Kim?
I got a haircut. Finally.
I was going to ask about that. I meant
Yeah.
to ask about that. Oh, it's always nice when somebody
okay.
recognizes you got a haircut.
Right. Well,
And they're
yeah.
like, "Oh, you got a haircut," and then you're like, "Yes, I did." And
I
but
no longer
instead
look
it's
like a 70s newscaster.
Yeah.
So there's that, Yeah, no. I went
70s
in and-
newscaster. That's progressive, Kim.
I know,
That's,
right? I went in and she's like, "What do you want to do?" And I'm like, "And when it comes to my hair, I don't really care because it will grow back." And I didn't have a plan. And I've been going to this woman for probably 15 years. And I'm like, you know what? Is there something you wanted to do? And,
That's
Go
I
ahead and try
never
it.
ever say that to my hairstylist.
I-
Granted, it's my wife,
right.
and she was just going to shave my head. That's my
Well,
fear.
Yeah. But no, well, she kind of did. She shaved back here. I shaved this side off, and
Yeah.
we left this part long, and so I just kind of let her go nuts, and
Okay.
I like it. So
Now, is the other side shaved underneath, or is it just kind of?
yeah, a little bit. Yeah, it's
All right.
shaved too. So yeah,
Could you spike it up into like a mohawk?
I probably could.
All right.
So
I expect
yeah.
this for the next show. This should have been
Alrighty.
something for 800. I'm just saying, this is a
Or
special
maybe
show.
like
Kim.
maybe like faux hawk it maybe.
There
I
you
don't know.
go. All right.
Yeah. So
I always like, as I start out styling my hair, I get to the faux hawk part and I'm like
Right.
doing it up, and I'm like, I can't do that. I can't
Right.
do that.
yeah.
I'm far too old to be wearing a faux hawk.
Yeah, you and me both.
Uh,
It was bad enough. I needed to get my hair done because it was bad enough one day. Me and Anthony was walking back to the house from doing chores, and he looks over at me and goes, "You've got gray hair." I'm like,
That's
yeah.
when
and
you look
it's
at me and say, you're going to get punched in the nose.
right? I said, "Yeah, you ass hat, and it's because of you and your mother." So he's like, "No, I've never really noticed it before," but he's like, "I can notice it now." And I'm like, I looked at my sister. I'm like, "That's it. I've got to schedule an appointment."
Yeah. The longer my hair gets, the more the gray comes out. And it's just
Oh,
like,
yeah.
oof. Yeah.
Right? It's time to
But I
go.
don't hide it anymore. I used to do the whole, like, color the hair a little bit here and there. And that was actually
Right.
when I was like in my 30s. 'Cause I
Right.
still was trying to like be
Right.
attractive. That's all out the window now. Fuck it.
Yeah, never mind. Yeah, because I only started to go gray at like 35, and I'm like, I am not ready to do this yet. So, and here I am at 46. Apparently, I'm still not ready to do that yet. Although, you know, I don't mind it as much as I used to. So,
I will say this right now. I will be an ugly bald person. I pray to God I don't lose my hair. I will not pull that look off at all.
you're right. It doesn't run in your family.
No, thankfully,
Oh,
no.
well,
My
all
dad
right,
had a good
then.
head of hair. My grandpa had a good head of hair. Both of them. So I think
Yeah,
I'm
well, there you
okay.
go. Yeah, there you go.
All right.
My brothers are screwed though because my dad is bald. So, hopefully, I can keep mine though because that's you know I've already got gimpy legs. Don't make me bald too. I mean, Jesus Christ. So,
Yeah.
anyway,
Although
other
my
than
wife
that,
did look at me the other day. She's like, "Oh," and I'm like, "What?" Your hair's starting to thin out a little. I'm like, "Fuck you." I think secretly she's wishing this though because she's constantly complaining like her hair like she has a great head of hair but constantly has hair falling out. She's like, at the rate I'm having my hair fall out, I'm not gonna have anything left. And I just kind of laugh and chuckle. And of course, I think that pisses her off.
Right.
So she's now secretly wishing I'm just gonna go bald.
Right.
Or
there you
maybe she's
go.
putting something in my food. I don't
Hey,
know.
maybe.
And my hair's gonna fall out.
dear.
Okay. Let's shift gears. Let's talk about video games.
Oh, hey, you want to see my calendars first?
Oh, I really don't, but I will.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry. You know, Kim, you notice how I just try and speed through these things. I'm like,
I noticed that. You know, but for the first one, for the cosplay calendar from you know, this, we have Joel from The Last of Us.
okay, all right.
I actually know who this is, even though I haven't played the video game.
Now,
as well.
it's cosplay Joel, or is that
Yes.
Joel from the actual show?
Well, no, that's cosplay Joel, because this is Maul. Was it Maul, the guy that does the Witcher really well? So
Okay.
this is his take on Joel from The Last of Us.
Okay.
Yeah, and then of course everybody's favorite.
There we go.
Yeah,
we go.
Yeah, Greg's favorite. He loves these things. And get the damn thing off the door. I don't know. Maybe we won't be doing it today.
Puss in
and
Boots. Here we go. Let's see it.
We have Mitch and Kevin.
Okay, see, Mitch and Kevin looks like last month.
I know.
Was it like Miley and something or other? I
Something
don't
like
know.
that, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like
Alright.
that. I'm surprised you remembered. Yeah, Greg and Marielle. So
That's
yeah, but
it's
at
probably
least
because it was
these
Greg. Yeah.
are- Yeah, that's probably it. But at least we have a Mitch and Kevin, and I don't know, they could be
Take your
or,
pick. Who's
so.
Mitch? Who's Kevin?
Yep, right.
Seriously,
So,
don't
there you
name your
go.
animals, by the way, with like actual people names.
Oh, well, I've
That's
got an
just-
Ollie.
Yeah, okay, I'll let you get away with that one. But I mean, seriously, and this is like a PSA to everybody. Just don't do it. It becomes confusing.
But Mario and Luigi are fine, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
video game characters.
All right, gotcha.
Okay.
And that's your
Uh,
calendars for September. Can you believe it's fucking September already?
No, I cannot. Although I'm
Oh.
excited, Kim. September
are?
because football's back.
Football. Yeah, I know, right?
Okay.
All right, I'm done. We can go to
Okay.
games now.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Today I feel like playing computer games. Today I feel like playing computer games.
All right. Thank you, Boomer, for suggesting I already need to start wearing a hat. All right.
Cowboy hat so you can match your boots.
I'm telling you. Excited for the boots.
I'll bet.
All right, Kim.
Yes.
Let's start with let's just get this out of the way. Much like the calendar. Let's talk about all of the video games we get for free because we're paying a subscription to get them.
Alrighty. We'll start with your PlayStation Plus games for September. We have Harry Potter Quidditch Champions, which is technically, I guess, a new game. So there's that. MLB 24, which my nephew has been playing on Xbox for probably months now. Anyway.
Didn't want to say it, but yes, this is there's some crazy funny irony that the game that came day one to Game Pass, published by Sony,
Right.
developed by Sony,
Mhm.
is now finally coming to their service.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Little Nightmares 2 is also coming to your PlayStation Plus for September. So there you go. And it comes highly recommended by Mark. He liked that one and the first one. So I think Robin did too. So there you go. For Game Pass, and this is only a partial list because Game Pass likes to like mystery throw them out there, and then you're like, oh shit, there's a game.
Yep.
So we've got Star Trekker for the PC and Xbox on September 3rd. Age of Mythology Retold for the PC and Xbox. On the 4th, Train Sim World 5, PC and Xbox, September 7th, and Frostpunk 2. Now, Phil, listen to this. It says PC and Xbox both. So there you go. And this is definitely a Phil game. So it'll be
That
out
is definitely
September
a Phil game.
20th.
Wait, you've got one
So-
more, Kim.
Oh, yeah, there was a page there. We have Arya, History Untold, not to be confused with the Retold or Untold or whatever.
Yeah.
For PC on September 24th.
I
So
feel like-
that's
Yeah, I was going to say Aura History Untold. I want to say it's kind of Civ-like. So if you like Civilization games, I think you're going to like that. It's
Right.
not quite Age of Mythology, but I think it leans more towards the Civilization game. I could be wrong.
right. And that's
Okay.
what I know so far. Like you said, they like to do mystery drops. So, like Crash Bandicoot last month that I didn't realize was coming. So anyway, leaving, well, as of today. So if you haven't played Atomic Heart and you haven't bought it, you're shit out of luck. I'm sure it'll come back around. They usually do. And Guilty Gear Strive is leaving Game Pass today. So there you go. Alrighty, we have for your Amazon Prime games. Also, I don't think there's a full list out yet. This is just what I know so far. And they're celebrating the second season of The Rings of Power, which don't ask me. I haven't watched it. I've heard bad things and I've heard good things, so I don't have it. So we have Middle Earth, Shadow of Mordor, Game of the Year edition. It's on GOG, which is good old games. Lego, The Lord of the Rings, which I do recommend because I played that sucker and completed it. It's also on GOG. And then Middle Earth, Shadow of War, but it's on their Luna service. So there you go. Yeah. Epic, up until the 5th, we have Wildcard Football and Fallout Classic Collection. And then from the 5th to the 12th, we have Football Manager 2024, Sniper Ghost Warrior Contracts. So there you go.
Okay.
Yep.
I feel like Sniper Ghost Warrior Contracts is a separate game from Football Manager 2024.
Well, yes, it is.
Just want to make sure.
There wasn't a big enough pause there. I do apologize. But yeah, they're two separate games. I don't know.
Although that
might
would
be
make for
fun,
quite the football game.
right? I might actually play that one,
Shout out to Sarah RCGC in the chat.
Oh, I'll be darned. Hi, Sarah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I got a dribble glass thing going on here.
We'll get you a bit.
Lemonade's going everywhere. It's
Yeah,
terrible.
it's first new lips. I'm telling you. I have this poker chip that I bought at the airport. I think I've talked about this before.
Right.
It actually is a ball marker for golf.
Yeah.
It has a little magnet. Pops in there. Anyway, I don't know. I don't know why I brought it up. Let's talk about
that's all
games.
right. Yeah, let's.
Okay. Let me get us into the right screen. What game do you want to talk about first, Kim?
We could talk about these Atlas Fallen?
Atlas Fallen. Yeah, let's talk
because
about
we both
Atlas
played
Fallen.
that, so
We have both been playing Atlas Fallen.
yeah, I've only played like half an hour because I played it like right before the show, but
I was playing it right before the show. I was playing it last night. Admittedly, last night as I started to play it, I started falling asleep.
right.
So, but I put in a good hour or so today. So my immediate impression is it's not the game I thought it was. I was thinking this was the EA game. It's not that.
No, you're thinking of the what is it? It's the one I bought, right?
Yeah.
The Immortals of Avium?
Yes.
Is that the one you're
yes.
thinking?
I was,
Yep.
and that was in my head, but so not that game. This is
No,
a
not that.
third-person action brawler. Is kind of the best way to describe it.
Right.
It's one of those games that has a lot of systems to it, and it's a a lesser known developer. I'll call it like a B tier developer, and it kind of shows in some fashions of the game, but in other fashions of the game, it looks good.
Right.
I think visually it looks great. It controls great. I really like the combat in this game. It's very smooth. It's responsive. But like I said, I think oftentimes these developers get like the feature creep into their head and they're like, oh, we could do this. We can add this. We can craft. We can upgrade. We can do this.
Right.
And it's like at some point, just keep it a little more simple.
Right.
Keep me focused on a couple things. That's why I really like, like PUBG, where you had your guns, but they had kind of this upgrade path that you kind of knew what it is. Call of Duty, back in the day, it was all about upgrading your weapons and then, your perks. And that was pretty much it. Now they've introduced all other kinds of shenanigans to it, and it gets complicated.
Right.
So what are your impressions so far, Kim? What do you like about the game? What do you dislike about the game? I don't want to just kind of hog all this
Gotcha.
time.
No, well, okay, like watching the screen here now, the little blue dude, he reminded me a lot of Avatar, because that's where I thought maybe
Yeah.
they were going with this. Was
Well, and this is the
Gon.
very start of the game, and so
Right.
you play as the spirit
Right.
that's trying to escape, and that's the best way to describe it. Honestly,
Yep.
I don't know what the fuck is going on in the story.
Right.
I have
Same
no
here.
clue.
Not yet. Anyway.
You play the spirit, and then suddenly you're not the spirit. You're a person.
Right.
You create your avatar looking person, and anyway, continue on. Sorry.
Yeah. No, it's fine. Yeah. Like you said, you're this guy's name I think is Niall. So anyway, you wake up, you're actually somebody else, which I thought going into it, that's how it went. And then when you start as this guy. So I'm like, okay, so maybe we don't get to create our own character. Apparently we're this dude. But as it goes on, like it says, you wake up like you're having some sort of dream or something, and you know. And yeah, like you said, I like the combat. It took me a little bit, but it's fairly straightforward, even though they kept telling me I needed to press different buttons. And I kind of did, because that's what I do. I button mash. So I guess you're an unnamed. You're some sort of miner or something. I like I said, I'm not real sure. I've only played like a half an hour, but it does seem really good. Like you said, some of the graphics and stuff, they get a little, I don't know. Like when you're creating your character, like your hairline like was almost like way back here in some of them, even though they showed you had hair up front, but your receding hairline was all the way back here. And I don't know, it's just a little nitpicky shit. But so far it plays well. It does remind me with okay. It's not really a spoiler, but you get like a gauntlet thing that this Niall guy is
Right.
in, and it reminds me an awful lot of Forspoken with the bracelet. Although
Yeah.
this guy does not seem as annoying so far.
And this is my knock.
Yeah.
The story, the concept of the game, it just doesn't feel original. It feels
Right.
like this has been done in countless stories before. And so that combined with what I feel is some pretty bad voice acting.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, it's
Oh.
just not great. I don't want to say bad because it's not horrible, but it's not great. And
Right.
so it's like you combine the not so great voice acting with a story that is just like, okay, all right, so the spirit lives in the gauntlet. He's going to talk to you. So you have this third voice.
Right.
And it's like,
And he reminds me
okay.
of Jarvis from the Avengers.
Yeah.
So, which I guess so did the bracelet from Forspoken. So I guess maybe that's a theme. I don't know.
maybe, but and again, it's one of those things where you're being, driven to save the world from the cataclysmic, Overwatch of the tower thing. I forgot what they exactly call it, but it's like the Eye of Sauron is looking
Right.
down upon you and
Right.
trying to stop you.
Mhm.
So that's the knock, but from a gameplay perspective, and I'm going to pull up, I'm fast forwarding a little bit so people can see you with your
Right.
normal avatar here, and
Right.
also avoid the commercials of YouTube.
There you go.
You
Hey.
upgrade
Mhm.
through these anvil things,
Okay.
and then you get to talk to your gauntlet person, Niall.
Right. It's a little Avatar dude, because that's what he looks like. He looks like
He
a dude from
does.
Avatar. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not great, but it's not bad.
It's not bad. I wondered though about that, because you had to pick up these like flowers and stuff, and I thought, oh god, does that mean we're gonna have to like craft something?
Well, at least I'll give them some credit. You don't actually have to figure out your combinations of crap to put together to craft something.
Thank God. Right.
Let me tell you, that is wearing thin on me with Starfield.
Right.
I really am tired of games being like, you need 5 of this and 7 of this and 6 of this, and then you can make your thing, but then you don't have any more of it, so you can't make another thing.
Right.
So, yeah, it does make you get those things,
Right.
but you don't have to figure out the combination of it. It just tells you when you can upgrade, and you're like,
Right.
okay, I've got enough of this crap to upgrade. Okay, I'll upgrade.
Well, that makes me happy.
Yeah,
But,
it does an interesting thing with the combat in like this thing called momentum. So as
Yep.
you're attacking and killing enemies, the more enemies you kill, your momentum meter goes higher, and it has these stages, and every stage it hits, your weapon itself grows. And weapon being the gauntlet, the capabilities of the gauntlet grows to tier 2 and tier 3, and tier 3 being the highest. What is interesting though is that if you don't keep your momentum. So obviously getting hit will pull momentum off you, but also if you're just not attacking anything after a brief period of time, your momentum basically drains back down all the way. So it's a unique spin, kind of a little wrinkle to the combat, keeps it a little feeling fresh in that when you kind of get into those like good momentum stages, you're just throwing around these gigantic axes and hammers. And I'm sure there's different weapons you're going to pick up because there are, you do have the ability to swap out the weapon that the gauntlet will create. The other interesting aspect, you're seeing it on screen right now, is this traversal of sand surfing is the best way I can describe it. It makes things go faster, but they do offer up fast travel in the game later on. So I don't know how much you're going to use it later in the game. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. But it gives credence to a couple of times where you're going to have kind of quick time events where you're sliding down a mountainside and you're trying to avoid stuff and jump over things so you don't get clunked, so to speak.
Oh, good. We love those.
Yeah,
events. Yeah.
The sand physics are really cool.
Yeah, they are.
I will say it does look good. And the other interesting thing it does in the game, although I wish it was more organic, is you have the ability to raise things up out of the sand.
Oh,
and so you're going to get to these moments of platforming and you're being like, how the hell do I get up there? But you're going to see this bright, bluey, glowy thing in the ground. And you're like, okay, I can raise something up, and you'll raise up like maybe a stairwell that's fallen into the sand. You'll be able to raise it up and kind of put it up there where you can then climb up it and get up higher.
Right.
And based on your upgrades, you may or may not be able to open up or raise certain things. They might be too heavy for you to do. So over time, as you upgrade that capability, and it's part of the quest lines, and the story plot line, I should say as well. So anyway, so it's interesting. It's like I said, it plays really well. Just don't go into this being like, oh, I'm really down for a great story.
Right.
I think you're going to be sadly disappointed.
It's going to be like a lot of others out there. There's a lot of rehashing, I guess you'd say. I will say one thing that made me chuckle. In the little opening deal, when the narrator or whatever is reading off about the gods and the fighting and the sands, whatever. I don't know if you noticed or not, but she said devastated. But on the screen for the captions, it said divested.
I did not catch this.
Yeah. She says devastated, but it's not spelled right on the screen when they run the captioning through. So I had to laugh at that
was
one.
divested.
Yeah, you're devastated and divested at the same time. So I kind of chuckled at that because nobody caught that. I mean, honestly, nobody. I don't know. You'd have thought, but no.
Yeah.
Anyway, but no, it's a good game. I don't know how long I'll play it, given that Space Marines 2 is like right around the corner, but it is on Game Pass. So who knows? I mean,
this is the value of Game Pass. It's, I'm getting in, I'm playing a game I would have never bought. I would have probably never tried this even with a demo. And here's the thing. I'm funny about demos because I know they're just a curated snippet of a game. I feel like, why bother?
Yeah.
But this, I still get to demo the game, try it, and if I really liked it, I can keep playing it. And who knows, maybe this will catch with me. I do like the combat so far. And there is this notion of kind of getting these like orb things that you're cracking into right now. That's going to give you the ability to increase capabilities and different perks and things that you have active in your armor set.
And I will say this character is a lot less annoying than the one that was on Forspoken because you just couldn't ever get her to shut up.
Yeah,
so,
I will say the Niles character, he is not doing all of the constant quips, and you don't hear your character really talking all that much. I do find it funny, and I think this again is a developer choice that you're never seeing your character talking.
Right.
You're always looking at it from the backside. This way, they don't have to animate as much, lip sync, within the game. But But again, and again, anytime I see helmets covering faces or
Right.
the good scarf that covers the front of your face, it always
Yep.
kind of cracks me up as well.
Yep.
And so you get a little bit of that in this, but they do have full facial feature characters as well. So
Yes, they do.
I can't knock them too much for that.
Right.
All right, so there you go.
Oh yeah.
Atlas Fallen, give it a check.
Yeah. Well, it's on Game Pass. You're not out anything, so.
Exactly.
I mean, unless you don't have Game Pass, then you might be out a little bit, but it's worth it. I'll tell you.
Kim,
Yes.
what about Dave the Diver? By the way, I did notice you had Diver Dave in there.
Yeah, I couldn't think of it. Apparently.
Yeah, Dave the
it is
Diver.
Dave the Diver Dave, whatever. You knew what it was. I didn't even think about that, but you're right. It's Dave the Diver, not Diver Dave. Whatever. Anyway, it's on PlayStation on their PS Plus, which is their version of Game Pass. And I know Mark had wanted to hear a while back, so I bought it for him on Steam. And I thought, well, I'll see what the hubbub's about because everybody was talking about it. And basically, what it is, you're a diver, and I think you've been in retirement or something for a while until this guy, I suppose, is a friend of yours, or maybe somebody you've worked for in the past.
Cobra, by the way. Cobra is his name.
Yeah, right. And he calls you back in and says he knows a guy. They're wanting to start a sushi restaurant, yada, yada, yada. So he wants you to dive and get the fish and all this stuff. So that's what you do. And they do have a Godzilla DLC where apparently you have to outrun Godzilla or something, but I haven't played it yet, so I don't know. Okay. But that's one of the main reasons I thought I'd play it, because Godzilla. But anyway, you did it. Yeah, it's cute. I like it. I think I like the sushi restaurant because the thing is with the sushi restaurant is you're the you're the waiter. So you go, you deliver the food and make the drinks or whatever. And I don't know, I think I like that part more than the actual diving bit. But it's fun. I kind of like it. It's a little tongue-in-cheeky at times, and
is it okay? I have to ask.
Okay.
I think I know the answer to this.
I'm
assuming not voice acted. I'm assuming you're just reading text on screen.
Pretty much, yes. So that would probably be a ding for you.
It is. It's almost a deal killer.
I know.
Sarah, Boomer, do you guys care about that? Reading text on screen in terms of like conversations where you have to hit the X to press the conversation forward. I personally hate games that have that. Now maybe it's me being lazy. I don't want to read. I don't know.
Right. No, I get it.
It creates a level of boredom for me.
Right.
Because
I don't think
you can't skip through these scenes.
Right. Not without thinking maybe you've forgotten something.
Right.
So I don't know. I got to see it. I guess I see what the hubbub was about. And like I said, I think I like actually working in the restaurant more so than the actual diving bit. So maybe that's just me, because you have to watch it. You can only you only want to dive down so far because you only have so much oxygen. Thankfully, though, every once in a while they've got these little like escape pods nearby, so you can crawl up in that, and it instantly brings you back up to the surface, that sort of thing. Because if you run out of oxygen and you don't make it back up top, you die, and your stuff gets left behind. You can go back and retrieve it, but yeah, you lose it down there.
I'm pulling up the sushi bar.
Right.
I'm not sure what happens so the sushi bar looks like it got wrecked.
Yeah, it did. And
okay.
you've gotta go and dive and make money to fix it back up. But then once it's fixed up, you get your sushi chef and you get customers.
Is there gameplay in the sushi bar, like you're creating sushi?
Well, the chef creates the sushi. You just go pick it up and deliver it to whoever ordered it, or you pour their tea or whatever. So, and there's a little mini game into that. So I don't know. I actually like I said, I liked that part more so than the actual diving bit, but I can see where people would like this. I mean, it's a good, I don't want to say toilet game necessarily, but it is one of the little games you can pick up, play for 15, 20 minutes, put it down, go do something else. So
okay. All right.
I get it. I get where people like. I don't know that it's something I will stick with technically because I haven't been back to it since I started it, but it is a cute little game. So.
All right. Okay.
But
speaking of sushi, by the way, this just reminded me of a story I meant to talk on the story time.
Right.
So we went to a sushi restaurant called Makuni's, and I'm totally not a sushi person.
I'm not either much.
I eat my teriyaki chicken bento box. I like sake. I like Sapporo beer. That's my shtick. That's what I do. Go out. The night we went to see Blink twice, We go to this restaurant, Makuni's. It's a great sushi place. And my wife's like, you should try something different. Here we go. I hate when she does that because you know what? I'm going to try something different.
Yep.
And I'm probably going to like it and I'm not going to be happy about it. So I ended up getting it was called Toby's Leftovers. And I'm trying to remember what was in it, but it had like tempura shrimp in it, crab and something else. And then it was like a sauce and, the rice and wrap. And it was great. Loved it. Freaking totally chowed down on it. And, and I just had a cocktail. I didn't get sake. I didn't get beer. And so as we're leaving the restaurant, I'm laughing and I'm like, honey, this was a momentous occasion. And she's like, what do you mean? And I said, I went to a sushi restaurant and I actually had sushi and I didn't drink Sapporo beer or sake. And she looks at me and she's like, that wasn't sushi.
Of course.
So, deflated. Never mind.
Right.
Anyway. Okay. Last thing, Kim, I know you played a little Call of Duty, but we don't care about Call of Duty. What we really care about is our Halo multiplayer.
Of course.
And Kim.
Yes.
We had fun.
We did have fun, even though, again, I ended up... Well, one game I did fairly well, but then there was, the rest of them, I was at the bottom of the barrel. But that's okay.
Yeah,
Everybody's got to have an anchor, and well, that's me. So.
You know what? Everybody has a game like that, right? Every now and then. But we actually had some success.
We did.
We had a good time.
I even got a couple of achievements. So
achievements unlocked.
Yeah.
We got some wins. I think we all left feeling good about ourselves.
I believe so.
And you know what? Snookers was probably at the gym again.
Probably.
Missing out on a good time.
Yep.
I think, at this point, we play far better without Snoogans than we do with Snoogans. And this is a direct indictment on him.
Okay. The gauntlet has been thrown.
The gauntlet's been thrown. I just had to give him a hard time. I love Snoogans, but
hopefully his puppy heals up. So
yeah, he has excuses for everything.
I know.
Kill the puppy. Gotta be at the gym. Fell asleep in the car. I don't know. There's countless different excuses with him.
Right.
Anyway, Halo multiplayer Wednesdays. It's fun. If you want to play, come hang out with us.
Right.
Although I don't think I'll be there this Wednesday.
Oh, well, all right.
I might have a work meeting.
That's okay.
That's the thing. I have to juggle my work. I really try to be good, but again, work is work.
Well,
it
that's
does
like
come
Friday.
First.
I couldn't do anything because I had the kids, so it happens.
It does. It does happen.
Yeah.
But okay. All right. Enough of that.
Right.
Let's transition to talk about what's next. What's next on the rundown, Kim? I think it's the news. No. Well, it's going to be the news, but it's going to be a quiz first.
Right.
Let's do that.
All right, now everybody get settled. Get away from the windows. Now look, good. It's time for the quiz. Yeah, you know what? Oh, too bad. Tough.
I do have a question, though, however.
We've got a question. Yep. Sarah's asked a question. I don't know if that's the question you're going to ask.
Yes, Sarah has a question.
Right.
She wants to know, she's got PS Plus. She has access to 13 Assassin's Creed games. If I were to play one of them, which one should I pick to play?
Okay. This is actually a very good, important question to ask because there are a multitude of different Assassin's Creed games. And I think it really depends upon Sarah about what you want out of your Assassin's Creed game. And I say that because they've kind of transformed over the years into much more of like a action RPG than a stealth assassin game, which is what they first came out as.
Right.
To date, I think one of my favorite is Black Flag. Black Flag is just great. You're playing as a pirate. You still have a bit of that stealthy gameplay, but the ship combat in that is off the charts good. I think if I was going to then say, if you wanted to do something different in that, Odyssey to me is the other one that I really enjoyed. I know Pete would say Valhalla. He really liked Valhalla a lot. Odyssey, I think, is I mean, it's very similar to Valhalla in that, it's this gigantic open world. And that's the other thing is the open worldness sometimes can be a bit too much.
Yeah.
Odyssey was, the map is just, it's an icon clutter. And Valhalla is the same way. Origins is the same way. Origins, I think, was the first to really go down this kind of RPG path. Odyssey, though, I think is really good, not only from a mechanic standpoint, but the story, the voice acting, plays the female character in that. I forgot the name of the actress that does the voice acting, but it's really good. And I liked Odyssey. Valhalla, half the time I'm just thinking, should I just be playing God of War?
Yeah, I could see that.
But yeah, so I would say Black Flag if you want that pirate experience. Odyssey if you want more of an RPG kind of experience. Odyssey definitely kind of strikes that note. At least that's me. You, Kim, what about you?
I don't really, I don't really play a lot of Assassin's Creed, at least the earlier ones, because I am not stealthy. Although I did play, what was it, Liberation? I think it was Liberation. With the female, I can't remember where the hell. Yeah, whichever one that was. I played that one, or most of it, and I really enjoyed that one, even though it was stealthy. I have had people tell me I need to play Black Flag, which I do have, so one of these days I need to. And I do have Odyssey, and I do have Valhalla, which Boomer played a little bit of Valhalla, and he seemed to like them. So, yeah.
Okay.
If that, for what that helps. Yeah.
I like stealth and collectibles. Well, I mean...
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. I'd say start out with Black Flag.
Right.
Yeah.
Sarah,
who doesn't like playing as a pirate?
Right?
And it's a good pirate game.
Unlike Sea of Thieves, where I couldn't even pilot the ship.
Okay. The Sea of Thieves slander needs to stop. Sea of Thieves, it's a co-op game, Kim. You're supposed to play with friends because the realities are you shouldn't be able to pilot, and it is piloting for the record, a ship all by yourself. You need someone to go raise the sails. You need someone to, man the anchor. You need someone to man the guns because you're not going to be able to do it all at the same time.
All right. Yeah.
Although the nice thing about Black Flag, you can do it all at the same time.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kim, give me my quiz. Let's go.
Alrighty, we'll do this thing. Oh, by the way, shout out to Boomer and Sarah for playing COD with me this weekend. I really needed that, so thank you.
Well, there you go. And for the record, if you're not familiar, we're going to now do the Metacritic Madness quiz.
Indeed.
So Kim is going to take us back to a year, and I'll let her tell us. But it's a year within 20 years, and pick 3 games. Right. I have to guess the Metacritic score for those games, and it's specific to the platform, so just know that. And of course, you at home can play along. So Boomer, Sarah, we expect you to be spot on with your predictions. Here we go.
Yeah, ready? All right, set your Wayback Machines for 2005.
2005.
Yes.
Life was much simpler then, Kim.
Wasn't it?
Yep, no child. Not even married yet. Life was good. So good.
Yeah, I didn't have any nephews yet either. So, but, well. Alrighty, so here we are. It's going to be March 22nd of 2005, and your game on the PlayStation 2 is God of War.
PlayStation 2?
Mm-hmm.
God of War. PlayStation 2.
Yep. What was the Metacritic score?
I'm going to say 90.
Okay.
I feel like God of War at that point took the world by storm. People loved it. So yeah, so I'm saying 90.
Okay. See what anybody else says here in the chat. But yes, God of War 2005 on the PlayStation 2. What was its score? And Greg says 90. So, as a matter of fact, this is a Metacritic must play. So there's that. Which I guess I knew that because I know God of War was big. So, and still is, rightfully.
Yeah.
Even though I have yet to play any of them. So I have them though. I own them, but like everything,
Well, and the interesting thing about the God of War games, the original God of War games, they were isometric, third-person view. It was a very different feel to the
Right.
more modern God of War games.
Right.
Okay, Kim, just tell me. I nailed
Alrighty.
it, right?
Yeah. We got Sarah says 95 and Boomer says 90. And
Everybody's cheating off my answer.
Yep, right. Exactly. And the score is 94.
94.
94.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well done, Sarah. Boomer, you failed like me. Good job.
Well, you were within 4 though. That's pretty good.
Sure.
So
Okay, I'll take it.
Alrighty. And on to the next game, which came out in November 16th of 2005. For the Xbox 360, we have one that I'm pretty sure I played quite a bit. We have Need for Speed Most Wanted.
Ooh, Need for Speed Most Wanted.
Yeah. So what was its Metacritic score?
Ooh, and this was on the Xbox 360.
Yep.
Now, Need for Speed games were doing pretty gosh darn well for a long time, but they do take a turn.
Yes,
And
they
I
do.
want to say it starts right around Most Wanted, but I'm trying to remember if Most Wanted was like a revival to kind of pull it back and regain some of that popularity. But I don't think it quite did that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say 86.
Okay. Sarah says 65.
Oh,
Yeah.
Sarah hates Most Wanted.
I will say I played a lot of Need for Speed Underground when it came out. Oh my god, so much Underground. It was ridiculous. We were Fast and the Furious before Fast and the Furious.
You could wait till the cows come home, and
I know,
Boomer's
right?
Gonna just
Oh,
take
there's
forever.
Boomer. Boomer
All
says
right.
80. All right. The
80.
Metacritic score was maybe 70. Says Sarah. All right. Metacritic score for Most Wanted was 83.
83.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was one of those games where it came out, and everybody was like, "Oh, it's gonna be back! It's gonna be back!" And the critics were like, they liked it, but they weren't like over the top with it. And I think this is the last one that scored really well. And
Right.
then from there, we got a couple of versions of it that were just not good.
Right. Which is sad because I did like the Need for Speed games, so
Yeah.
especially the ones with that let you outrun the cops and all that.
Well, that was
fun.
Most Wanted. That was really kind of like that was like it brought it all back, because I think the previous game they didn't have any of that in it.
Right.
Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, no, it's fine. All right, but last and certainly not least for our Metacritic Madness, we have on June 21st, 2005, released on the Xbox, the OG Xbox, not the 360, believe it or not.
Okay.
Yeah, Destroy All Humans.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm. What was its Metacritic score?
On Xbox, man. So I remember this game coming, and I was just like, I love this concept. Love the whole idea of this. It's going to be great. I don't think it was great. I think it was good, not great. I would say 80.
Okay.
I feel 80 is the right score. Because, again, I really wanted it to be great, but I feel like critics, they saw some flaws in it. And maybe it was the hardware. But it had to have done well enough to warrant the sequel, which it got.
Right.
So, yeah, 80.
Yes, Sarah, the first one.
Yeah, 80 feels good to me.
Okay. I don't think I've played. Now, didn't they do like a remaster of this or something? Or am
They
I
did.
thinking of a different one? Okay,
Yep,
that's what
they
I thought.
remastered the original. And so it looks great. By the way, I highly recommend playing that remastered version of it, because they actually tweaked some of the gameplay mechanics as well. So it plays better.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I remember just the whole notion of like you can basically take somebody's appearance to get by and pass by guards or whatever. And that mechanic just didn't quite work well for me. And that was one of the things that I just struggled with on the game. But anyway.
Right. All righty.
80.
Well, they've got Sarah and Boomer's got their score. And Sarah says 75, Boomer says 80. And the Metacritic score for Destroy All Humans on the OG Xbox was 76.
76.
Yeah,
So I
76.
was sniffing around all these scores. I was within
Right.
4 for everything.
Right.
3, hey, I'll take it.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Yeah,
76.
Sarah was close.
Well done.
you know.
Yeah, Sarah was really on it today.
All right.
Outside of her 65. I'm not going to call her out for that. I mean,
Yeah, there was that one.
yeah.
So
it's all good.
that's your Metacritic madness for today.
Excellent. I am the champion for this week.
Wow. Well, yeah, obviously. Yeah. Although, if Sarah was actually on air, she would have beat you. So almost,
True. Me, myself, and I. All right. Okay. Well, thank you for that, Kim.
Sure.
Appreciate it. And let's do some news.
Alrighty.
Here is the fucking news.
It just never gets old for me. All right. There's not going to be a lot of positive news this week, Kim.
Only. Yeah?
Yeah.
Sorry, I just saw the Cardinals score, and it's 12-7 for the Cardinals on the Spankies.
All right.
Yeah.
Beat them Yankees. I like it.
Right?
Kim, you know the game Concord?
Yes.
Have
I played it? No.
I don't think anybody has played it, Kim. I don't think a lot of people have played this game. It came out. They had the beta. It got a lot of negative feedback. And so far, according to IGN, it looks like Concord may have sold as few as 25,000 copies across both platforms.
Oh, wow.
That's PlayStation and Steam. According to IGN's Simone Careless.
Simone or Simon?
Interesting. Simone Careless. Carlos? Carlos. Not Careless. Could be Careless, but it's Carlos.
Okay.
I was just looking at the name. I'm like, that's a ridiculous last name, but it's Carlos, not Careless. Because Careless releasing these figures, just saying, it's a little damaging. 10,000 copies on Steam and just about 15,000 on PlayStation. The game has received just over 700 Steam reviews, 512 of which are positive, and 220 are negative. And Steam reviews, I mean,
yeah,
it's
right.
Steam. But according to Matt Piscatella from Circana, who is formerly NPD, the game ranked 147th in the U.S. for PlayStation 5 daily active players across all titles, with fewer than 0.2% of Monday's active PS5 players playing the game. This was last Monday, mind you.
Wow.
Those are some rough numbers. And this is a game that has a lot of production built into it. I think they had stated that they were going to basically be releasing content with those video vignettes Halo Infinite was doing the same thing. Their multiplayer had these little video vignettes that would introduce each season with that lasted for probably 3 seasons, and I think they scrapped that because it was too expensive. I have a feeling we might be seeing something similar with Sony here. It's just not lighting the world on fire, and I think it's only a $40 game, so that really does not bode well for this game.
Right.
I think the only other option Sony has is to go the route of free to play, if they have, and I'm sure they have in-game purchasable items. I don't know for a fact, but that would be, I think, maybe a salvaging way they could kind of try and recoup. But that's pretty rough. All right, and this is not necessarily bad news, but it's always sad to see somebody moving on, but maybe he's moving on for greener things. I don't know. But Capcom veteran Hideki Itsuno, he's the director for Dragon's Dogma 2, is leaving the company after more than 30 years. So he's definitely had a nice long career. So I can't cry about that. I said at the end of August 2024, I will be leaving Capcom after 30 years and 5 months. That's kind of interesting. 30 years and 5 months. Got to make sure you know it's 5 months in there.
Right.
So thank you for your long-term support of the games and characters I have been responsible for. I hope you will continue to support Capcom games and characters. So it seems like he's going out on a positive note in that regard. From September, I will start developing a new game in a new development environment. So he is moving on to something different and fun.
Yep.
I hope to create fun, beautiful games that are as memorable as, or even more memorable than the ones I have created so far. Please stay tuned for my creation. And of course, he served as the director for Power Stone, Devil May Cry 3, 4, and 5. And of course, Dragon's Dogma 1 and 2, amongst other titles. So there we go. Good luck to you. At least he's not leaving the industry, and it doesn't seem like it's a bad thing at this stage. Okay. Bad news for Japan in that Sony has announced an increase in price for the PlayStation 5 for Japan, which is this is another PlayStation 5 price increase in Japan, which kind of unheard of at this stage. Usually we're seeing price decreases. Xbox did a price increase, and I honestly thought that was ridiculous because like you're not selling any consoles in Japan as is. Why are you raising the prices? Apparently now we know. I think this is a direct correlation with maybe the yen and the power of the US dollar, that kind of thing. So PlayStation 5 consoles starting on September 2nd. We'll see an increase, and I'm just going to use the U.S. dollars. I'm not going to worry about trying to say the yen because those are crazy numbers. But it will go up to $550. It's a $90 increase over the current price of $460, which that tells you a little bit of the power of the yen. That it's only $460 in. Although actually, I think now that I think about it, isn't the PlayStation 5 $399? I don't know. Maybe it's $499. The digital edition will see a hike as well. Everything across the board, by the way, is getting a price hike. It's going to go from $415 to $505. Accessories, the DualSense is going to go up to $80 to $83, which currently is in a $65 to $68 price range. So that's a pretty substantial increase there. And then the PlayStation Portal, everybody's favorite device, is going to increase from $205, which it was at launch, to $240. So, yeah, in a time where everybody's complaining about things being too expensive, and I'm sure people overseas also feeling that pinch, they're going to feel it a little bit more. But anyway, so yeah, that is that's the news. Nothing terribly positive. I mean, there's some other little news stories here and there, but we're in that time frame, people. There's just not a lot happening right now. Gamescom kind of was the news cycle. That's over. And now the next news cycle will be Tokyo Game Show. And I want to say that's in 2 weeks, maybe a week. But that'll be the next one. And we probably will get a Sony event, I'm assuming, sometime in September, probably Tokyo Game Show, to kind of showcase the roadmap moving forward. Speaking of roadmaps and moving forward, Kim, let's talk about new releases.
Yeah, righty. And we have your new releases for September 1st through the 7th. And by God, this first one, all right, I'm going to butcher it for sure. Nickel, I'm assuming. Nickel Murphy's Civilization. So somebody's got syphilis, apparently. I don't know. I'm serious. That's what it says. It hasn't been Robinized or anything. So Nickel Murphy's Civilization for September 1st on the PC. I have to look that one up just to see what the hell it is because, oh my God, that's just something. Sumerian 6. I know, it wasn't Greg or anybody. That's what it is Civilization. Okay. Sumerian 6 for the PC on September 2nd. Team Manager for the PC, September 3rd. Harry Potter Quidditch Champions for the PS5, for the Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, Switch, and PC, September 3rd, also on PlayStation Plus. Star Trekker for the PC and also PlayStation Plus on PlayStation Plus, Game Pass. Too many things going on. The Casting of Frank Stone for the PS5, XNS, and PC on September 3rd. Age of Mythology Retold, Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, and PC, September 4th. Necro King for the PC on September 4th. I can guess what that one's about. Data Live, something. Anyway, Data Live, Rin Dystopia for the PC, September 5th. Demon's Mirror. That's what I call when I look in the mirror and have to look at myself. Anyway, Demon's Mirror for the PC, September 5th. I think there's another one. Maybe not. Oh, wait, there's a few more. Here we go. Gimmick 2 for the Switch and PC, September 5th. Star Wave for the Quest, September 5th. What the Car? ? For the PC, September 5th. Astrobot for the PS5, September 5th. September 6th. Jesus criminy. I do know how to read, I swear. NBA 2K25, PS4, PS5, Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, Switch, PC, September 6th. Perennial Order, I assume it's got nothing to do with about flowers, but who knows. PS5, Series X and S, and PC, September 6th. And that's it. Those are your new releases. So, Astrobot, I see that one. That's about it. There's not many others in there that I'm Super
mean,
and Thursday. You know.
Astrobot is quietly like I think a lot of people's like potential game of the year pick.
Right.
A lot of people are super hyped for Astrobot. I have a feeling that's going to score very well.
Probably.
Out of that, beyond that, I mean, what else is this? Star Trucker? No.
Right.
Yeah.
There's the Dead by Daylight one, the Frank Stone deal, but you know, I only liked playing Dead by Daylight when I could be the serial killer and put people up on hooks. So.
Yeah.
What's that say about me?
It's going to have its own lane. There's nothing really outside of NBA 2K25. That's a big game,
right?
But it's a specific audience. So,
right.
I think Astro.
Mine will be next week. You know, or the whatever week, the 9th.
I'm excited for that.
Space Marines. Here we go.
Absolutely.
So, yep.
All right. Well, Kim.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
If you're hanging out on a Wednesday, what are you doing right around 12 p.m. on the West Coast, 2 p.m. your time? You finished up your chores. You've got nothing else to do. What are you going to do?
Take a nap. No.
Really, Kim? This
maybe
is not how you play this game.
Maybe play some Halo, perhaps. Although not this week, apparently. So
we'll see.
Okay.
TBD.
Alrighty.
Halo Wednesday nights. We're continuing the tradition. I haven't given it some fun, catchy name. Maybe that's something we need to come up with.
All right.
Is a fun Wednesday night Halo name. I'll leave that to the creative thinkers of the world. My best effort was Femme Fatale Friday, and that is it's pretty good. Of course,
that was really
Mark
good.
started off with Fatal Friday, but he stole that from a game. So,
right. Yeah. Well, you know.
Yeah.
And he gave me his blessing, so he's all right with me taking over till he gets better or whatever. So
at least he only gave you his blessing. Could have
That's
been
right. Might have been some civilization there. Or civilization, whatever the hell that was.
We'll have to look that up. Final Femme Fatale Fridays. You will be attempting to host some COD.
Yeah, we'll probably be doing some COD more than likely. I don't know, something. So hopefully
I'm gonna update my Call of Duty, so I will be ready.
I hope so, because you've only been saying that for the last 6 months now. I gotta get on and play some Call of Duty. Guess who never gets on to play Call of Duty? So
typical man. I promise a lot, deliver less. I'm just saying.
Right. So yeah, we'll probably do that. I don't foresee anything happening Friday. Any reason I can't? Because like I said, I didn't even know about my nephews until the day before. So I was like, oh, all right.
Surprise nephews. There you go.
Oh, I know, right? I suppose I could have still jumped on Friday and did that, but it was a lot that week, so it's probably a good thing I didn't. So, but yeah, we'll fire it up again this Friday. I mean, if the worst things come to worst, I'll play COD by myself for an hour and a half, like I did last time.
I have a feeling you will have friends.
Alrighty. So, yep. Come Friday, play some COD. And
exactly.
I mean the game, not the fish. I don't know how you do that.
Kim, the kids, the way they say it is they want you to smash the like button. They want you to subscribe.
Right. Like and subscribe. Yeah.
Like and subscribe. Yeah. Especially if you've made it this far into the show. I'm just saying.
Thank God. Yeah. Yeah, you haven't left us yet.
Give them time.
Right.
All right. Kim.
Yeah.
Give some shout outs.
Sauerkraut. No.
Sauerkraut. Alrighty, it was really hard for me to say. And there's no alcohol in this drink I've been drinking.
It's okay. I can read off the releases either very well. So anyway, it must be one of those days. And all I'm drinking is half and half. So not the milk stuff, the stuff with tea and lemonade in it. Not
Okay. I was just gonna say, why are you drinking half and half? That's like creamer for coffee. I guess
I should have said I should have said Arnold Palmer, but then somebody would have took that wrong, and we won't go there. Anyway, shout outs. I'm gonna shout out Boomer and RCGC Sarah for dropping in the chat, like I said, for coming along yesterday and playing COD. I don't know, I played COD from noon till what was it, almost 5 o'clock. So we had a pretty good day of COD in there yesterday, so it was much needed. I appreciate it.
You're welcome, by the way, everybody. I just had the notes up on screen for the last 5 minutes, apparently.
Yeah, you did, but I figured that was intentional, so whatever. I mean, it's not like we're giving away government secrets or anything.
This is where you need to be like, Greg.
Okay, next time I will, I promise. So, the show notes are up on screen, Anyway, shout out to Mother Nature. We had 3 days of hell in there for a while. It was bad enough. The humidity was so bad. I took our portable air conditioner and put it out on the mudroom for the kittens because it was so hot. And Dad laughed at me the entire time I did it, but I did it. So anyway, it's 70 degrees. I think the humidity is 60 something. So I mean, there's like no humidity at all. So it's nice. I will agree. I like hot weather, but this works too. Anyway, I hope everybody has a good week. Hopefully I have a better week this week. Thanks, Greg. It's fun. Yeah. Hanging out with Tank Top. It's always fun. So over to you. Yeah.
Well, and the name fits.
I know.
Kim, thank you for making it. I appreciate you.
Sure.
And appreciate everybody listening. Of course, the listeners, as Kim said, we love you guys dearly. And so we'll be around for more episodes. I mean,
yeah,
we've done 800 so far, so why stop now?
Right.
Keep an ear out. You may hear a new voice or two, maybe just one, but I don't know. Down the road, just saying. Shout out to Robin. Thanks for putting your family before the show. I appreciate it.
Yeah, right.
No, really, it's okay. We love you. Mark, also love you. Phil, love you, even though, missing an action.
Phil, get prepared. Space Marines, it's coming.
I know.
And there's co-op in the campaign, so there's a thought.
We'll get Phil in. We're gonna pull him kicking and screaming. And one of these days, we are going to surface Pete.
I hope so.
Find out what the hell's going on.
It's Diver Pete.
Diver Pete. Oh my God, Pete. There's a thing. All right. Really, we're going to end the show now. Keep your fingers crossed. No copy strikes this week. And we will be next week. We'll be back. For the record, it will be a shorter show than this week because football starts next week. And my first game is at 1:25 on the West Coast. So just saying. Anyway, excited. We're back. Football's back. Weather is cooling off. Life is good. We'll see you next week, everybody. Have a great rest of your weekend and enjoy the day off tomorrow if you're in the U.S. Suck it, UK.
And Canada. Canada's got it too. So
yeah,
I think.
We hate Canada.
Oh, sorry, Sarah.
Oh, sorry. I didn't know Sarah was from Canada. Love you. Take it all back. Canada's great. Gotta go.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Overseas Connection podcast. See you same time next week.
I love you, Sarah.